If you search for the Viper V3 Pro versus Harpe II Ace, or if you are deciding between the two, this video is for you. If you want the mouse that feels locked in with your grip, go for the Viper V3 Pro. If you want the mouse that leans towards feeling effortless and super easy to pick up and go, the Harpe II Ace gets my vote. Both are very good mice, and for these you really cannot say one is better than the other, but perhaps this video can help you figure out which one is more appealing to you, and then you can decide from there. So first, the shape and handling, because that's a real daily experience difference. Now both are in the right-handed symmetrical medium lane, so if you're coming from a GPX type shape, neither of these are going to feel alien, but there are subtle differences. For instance, the Viper V3 Pro feels more planted and more locked in. So once your grip is set, it's stable, tracking feels confident, and it rewards that set it and forget it grip. On the other hand, the Harpe II Ace feels more neutral and more adjustable mid-fight. It's a little easier to do quick regrips, tiny angle changes, small resets, so not as locked in as gripping the Viper V3 Pro. And here is the key thing about this comparison: because the Harpe is lighter, it feels a bit more nimble for micro corrections, especially if you're the kind of player who constantly does tiny readjustments instead of big swipes. So very simple, if you want stability and a locked in feel, you probably lean towards the Viper V3 Pro, and if you want stability with a bit more grip freedom and easy regrips, you probably lean towards the Harpe II Ace. Alright, for the main clicks, I would describe the Viper V3 Pros to feel decisive and locked in on actuation, and the Harpe Ace 2 to me feels more clean and fast to reset. It's kind of like it just wants you to spam inputs all day. If you spam click a lot, both are totally fine, but the difference from what I feel is that the Viper V3 Pro clicks are a bit more dense feeling. Now the side buttons both are awesome, and I would say very similar. The only difference I would highlight is the size of the side buttons, even though it's very subtle. The ones on the Viper V3 Pro are a tiny bit larger than what's on the Harpe II Ace, and I am a big fan of large side buttons, but other than that, they are very similar. And then for the scroll wheel, both are fine. The scroll wheel on the Harpe II Ace is a little smoother and more relaxed, but I personally like the Vipers more because it feels a bit tighter and more deliberate as you go through the notches. And just to note, neither of these mice have an optical scroll wheel, which is what Razer has started using for their flagship Dev Adder V4 Pro. Now for the tech, feel free to pause and screenshot this for your comparison. For the differences that I would highlight, both are 8K wireless compatible, but Razer's Viper V3 Pro doesn't do 8K in wired mode. So if using 8K in wired mode is important to you, then go for the Harpe II Ace. The Harpe also has tri-mode connectivity, so you have Bluetooth, which is genuinely useful if you want one mouse for gaming and to bring it out with you to use on your laptop or in the office. If you want the mouse that can give you the most hours at 1000 Hz polling rate, the Harpe II Ace gives you 101 hours, whereas the Viper V3 Pro gives you 95. And then between the two mice, there is a difference in the sensor, but this is something that I wouldn't bother too much because it's not something that you can actually feel in practice. Now, something that is sort of worth noting is that Razer mice, to my knowledge, you cannot turn off motion sync, and some people, depending on their setup, do notice that Razer mice have a somewhat floaty feeling. Whereas on the Harpe II Ace on the software, you can turn off motion sync. I would say that the Harpe II Ace has the advantage of a lighter weight, a more universal shape that is easy to pick up and feel reasonably comfortable with, and it's got a much better way to configure the mouse too. The Harpe II Ace uses a web-based software, and for the Razer Viper V3 Pro, they are working on their version of a web-based software as well, but until then, you gotta download Synapse 4 to configure the mouse, and it still sucks. You know, since I changed my computer a couple of months ago, I have not downloaded Synapse. Okay, so if I could only keep one, I am keeping the Viper V3 Pro, and that's because it just has that little bit of locked-in stability, and I like the feeling of the comfort grooves on the mouse buttons. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully this saved you from a 3-hour Reddit spiral. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to support my channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.